a lot of audiology and a lot of acoustic search courses. And thank you for having me on the show. Thank you.
Thank you for making time. So, Daktari, last time we talked extensively about disability in children, what are some of the types and all that. So today I want us to talk about causes of disability, and I want us to focus on 3 environments, at home, at school, and in the community. So now to begin with, what are some of the causes of disability at home?
Thank you, Zainabu, and thank you for selecting the topic because there are many causes of disabilities. But I from the talk I listened around, it's that lay people, of course, those not in the area or ordinarily mwananchi, will think that disability, either you are born with it, that means it's hereditary, or your mother conceives you with it at birth, that we call it congenital, or of course now they think it is a curse. Yeah. It is a curse, while part of it is true, but also disabilities do happen at comfortable places like homes, our schools, and the community. And yet, Zainab, those are the places that should be secure. Yes. Our home, starting with our first setting, our home should be very secure, Zainab. But when we educationists are studying the causes or what is bringing disabilities to children, and please, may the viewers allow me, we keep talking about children, but we also know for our study, it also includes grown-ups, because when a child has disabilities, if they progress, there will be an adult with disabilities. But for the purposes of our topics, we'll be referring to children, but we do acknowledge that a child will progress to adulthood. Thank you. We start with homes, and I want to start with the makeup, the composition of the home, Zainabu. It's interesting that today there's a lot of intermarriage. There's a lot of intermarriage, and it's a beautiful thing. But interestingly, it can cause disabilities. Yes. Communication disorders are disabilities. It can be a cause of communication disorders or language disorders. How, Zainabu? Look at homes today. Mama comes from a different tribe. Dad comes from a different tribe. The help comes from a different tribe. The neighbors are from a different tribe. The classroom teacher is a different tribe. The school speaks English, and there's a surrounding the Isheng. The neighbors speak Swahili. How many languages are those? Those are almost 10 languages. Exactly. So, Zainabu, what language should the child speak? You see, as such, children, and the television remembers another language, Zainabu. Yes. It even has Pidgin English if the kids are listening to the music and all those types of music and all that. Yes, and all those, and the Lingara, the Rumba, all those. Now the child listens to all that. How does a child discriminate what is a cup? What language is, what a cup is, what language? There are like 12, 13 languages of a cup. Yes. So what happens to this child? Then their mind locks because they don't know what to call whatever is in that house. They don't know. The auntie calls it this way. The mother calls it this way. And daddy calls it this way. The classroom teacher calls it this way.
And there are probably relatives there.
Exactly. So as such, now we have children. When they attain the age, children have milestones. But now when we come to the milestone of acquiring language, 6 months, Zainabu, a child should babble. At least babbling, ba 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 ma 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 ma. But we have children who keep quiet to 7 to 9 years. And I think viewers can agree with me. And as such, and again, because last time we mentioned Zainabu, we do have parents who are really busy working. Sometimes actually you don't realize that your child has not acquired speech. So we think that the child is quiet. The child is quiet. Then by the time we realize probably their school going age, we are now presenting children at 3 years old who don't have speech. If they don't, then they have delayed speech. Is a problem for us in special needs education, because it means that we need to get a therapist, a speech and language therapist, Zainabu, who is probably not available locally, and if there is, Zainabu probably is very expensive, so that we can be able to remediate the speech. So that is one way that we are causing disabilities. It's not intentional, of course, Zainabu.
Before
But
even you move
yes,
on,
yes.
how do we regulate
Mitigate
that? Yes.
What we do suggest, the parents can intentionally, Zainabu, choose a language. Intentionally choose a language. Yes. Yes, one language. I can give you an example. I come from a mixed family also. Personally, I come from mixed family, and there are people from different tribes. I chose one language. For me, I chose English. And that is what I taught my children. And I emphasized, even when I brought a help Zainabu in my home, I taught her English. That's the most interesting thing. I taught her the language I chose. And then right now, my children are going into learning other languages. There's no problem. But there's one language that is very well understood in my home. Yeah, the best way is just to choose one language. Daddy and mommy need to agree. We are from mixed races. Auntie is from a mixed race. Grandma and all that is from a mixed race. But we can pick a language. It can be Kiswahili. It can even be vernacular. Remember, vernacular is also very strong, Zainabu, if you can be able to use it. There is no problem with a vernacular. But if mommy and daddy can speak the same vernacular, it's okay even if they are from different races. Zainabu, remember long ago, when a lady was married into a home, she learned the language of the home. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you are very young. But she learned so that they would communicate one language.
Yes,
it means that
family.
our forefathers understood something that we have not understood.
There was wisdom in it.
Yes.
But then what about the TVs and all that and the music?
Yes. Now, the other causes of disability, so we have learned that our mixed marriages can cause that. The other one is technology. Technology can cause disabilities in ways that even if I started explaining, Zainabu, I cannot be able to finish. I'll start with when our children are crying today. I watch it, and I'm sure you do. What are we making the baby happy about? A phone. Take the phone. And not only just giving them the phone, now we have downloaded material. We have downloaded cartoons, we have downloaded music, and it's not bad. It is not bad, Zainabu. But the child needs the human touch. A child needs the human touch. Imagine, Zainabu, if it's the mama singing those rhymes. Just think about it, how beautiful that would be. Even the connection, the human connection. Like long ago, when a baby cried and heard their mother's voice from somewhere, they just could and kept quiet because, wow, mommy is around. But today, what do they hear? Is the phone or the television? Even the help has known. If she needs to wash clothes or utensils, I need to put the TV on for the child. Are you seeing? And the child is now communing with a foreign object. Sincerely, the TV is a foreign object, whether you like it or not. Whether it has the human face in it, it is not human. We need to accept that. Yeah. As such, one, the children are becoming lonely. They are very lonely. Two, again, they cannot communicate. You can't communicate with a television, Zainab. You cannot tell it, good morning, my diaper is wet, I've not eaten, I've not done what? That. The other one, it is a little noisy. Like the cartoons, for example, they are a little noisy. And again, they are foreign based. Because even if you, I'm not aware of really cartoon series that are in African set. So the children cannot be able to, yes, they cannot be able to relate to the foreign. And they are a little noisy. The language used is different. We teach children from known to unknown. Our children are learning the unknown. When a cartoon, Zainab is talking about snow. It is talking about Halloween and all that. How is that helpful to our children? I thought that the programs that we present on TV and what our children learn, they should be learning from it at least. Yeah, but what are they learning from all this? They are also learning another foreign culture. Because of course cartoons are based on the Western. Of course our children then are also learning the Western culture. That is a lot of confusion. That is, yes.
How does this translate to disability now?
It translates to disability. I can give you, without mentioning specific cartoons, sometimes you see like a cartoon, I have watched a few, like a cartoon, parents and father and dad tell a child something, and the child doesn't want to do it. And then they throw tantrums, they knock themselves on the floor. I have seen a cartoon where they take the food or the flour and everything. They pour and step on it in the house in anger. Yeah. That's not teaching our children something new that they can try. You haven't seen our children throwing tantrums in supermarkets. You haven't seen our children insisting, because this is called emotional and behavioral disorders. You have not seen our children insisting that you have to buy them something. You have not seen when you tell our child something, do this, and they'll tell you, I'll not do. Because the cartoon says, I'll not do. They are copying, they are aping, and they are learning. So it causes emotional and behavioral disorders. It also causes communication disorders. The language of the cartoons, first of all, is very fast. It is a very fast communication. But not only that, with different connotations and insinuations that a little child cannot be able to interpret. Because Zainabu long ago, the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation used to have children's programs. They were locally tutored. Am I correct? There were local programs presented by grandmas saying stories and teachers teaching. But is that the case today? No. The foreign content is now in our houses, and not just in the cities, Zainab, even in the rural areas I have traveled. I have seen a mother washing clothes in a rural area, and the child is on a phone, and sometimes I peep what the child is doing. They even digress. The children even digress from that cartoon, because you know they can't watch it every day. They can't listen to the rhyme every day, Zainabu. What happens? They will digress into their phone. After all, it's on internet.
True. Yes. Actually, hold that thought. We need to take a short break, but we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Wakati mwingine kama weekend, mimi najiachilia.
Hata ukumbuki hii story.
Nikifika watu wangu wakinipokea na kupokeleka.
Umeset the mood.
Nimeset the mood, naweza kupokeleka.
Nikitumai kwamba mzima popote pale ulipo, nikikukaribisha katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi. Jina langu Elizabeth Mutuku, na katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi tunakupa nafasi kutangamana nao kila siku ya Alhamisi kuanzia saa 1:30 kuendelea. Siku nyingine tutapatana papa hapa umjue kiongozi mwingine.
Jiunge nasi toka hapa ufuoni mwa bahari. Meli yetu itakapotua nanga kwa uhondo ribo ya riwaya hii Mwisho wa Kosa. Monica.
It's early morning in Maralal. Start your morning informed, educated, entertained, and above all, know your country.
The break, you were almost finishing the causes of disability at home, so I want you to do that briefly, and then we move to now at the school. Yeah.
Thank you, Zainabu. I would also like to mention the nature of our homes. Today we are building homes, Zainabu. They are storage. We are picking very good materials for our homes, tiles of course, and all those kind and beautiful seats and that. Services, we are making them very smooth and beautiful. But I need the viewers to know that our bathrooms can cause disabilities. If you are arranging to have tiles, we do have now tiles for the floor, specific ones for the bathroom, specific ones for the toilet, and specific ones for the living room, so that we avoid falls. We really have a lot of accidents that are causing falls. When a child is using soapy water, playing with the bubbles, sometimes maybe now that phone rings again. They will run for it, slip, and they can fracture or even break there.
No, I know that, Dr. Rifu, because I myself can attest one or two times where I have fallen from, after leaving the bathroom. So yeah.
Thank you for that. So we need our homes to be friendly in the materials we use to paint. We need to use. The other one is paint, Zainabu. Yes. Interestingly, paint causes disabilities. Yes, it does. Because when we inhale the kind of paint that are now painting our houses, we can also get asthma. Remember that health impairments are under disabilities. So we need to pay attention to to the painting. We also need to pay attention even to the perfumes and colognes that we use. They cause disabilities. They are giving us chest problems, and they're also giving us heart problems. So we need to pay attention. Women in the home in particular, Zainabu, need to pay attention to the products that we are using on our bodies and on our faces, because most of most of the products we use also have chemicals that can be able to harm not only our faces, but they can also be able to harm our kidneys. So these perfumes we use, these colognes we use, the products that we apply on our faces, the products that we apply on our hair, the braids that we use, all these always braiding our hairs, all those are they cause health impairments, and they add up to the group of disabilities.
What I'm getting, Daktari, is the causes are all over.
The causes are all over, Zainabu, including the food, and I think we have discussed that we will have a different program to be able to systematically talk about food and nutrition and all that. So in the home, we are saying that there are disabilities. Lastly, which we mentioned last time, is homes that are not happy. Zainabu, without reinforcing it, because we have reinforced it again, is that children need to be in happy homes. When a child leaves home angry, seeing mama being battered, or daddy being battered, or the house help mistreating them, then the children, one, they are unhappy. It causes emotional and behavioral disorders. It also causes cognitive disorders, Zainabu. Stress mingi. You start being depressed, you become an angry child, and when the children go to school, they don't learn, they are unhappy, and they start also bullying other children, exactly the way daddy bullies mommy or mommy bullies. And even, Zainabu, lastly, even the language we use. Many of us parents are insultive. We insult our children. We tell them how stupid they are, how foolish they are, good for nothing. What does that do to our children? It hurts them, they get angry, and angry, it causes emotional and behavioral disorders. Such children, Zainabu, cannot be able to cope in the community. They are problematic at home. They are problematic at school. They are problematic in the community. In Zainabu, that is why we have a lot of suicide cases. People are angry, they have not been understood because they have kept quiet. It is assumed they are quiet. But many people are really angry about a number of things, and one thing, Zainabu, is about their parents. So meaning that parents need to raise or grow a family that is healthy. A healthy family. When a child does wrong, Zainabu, we do not need to nail it on a cross or something that you didn't go to school, you didn't work hard, you brought me ease and all that. There's a way you can approach a child in a very amicable way, Zainabu, and let a child see, look at our home. This is where you come from. Wouldn't it be nice if you worked hard in school to come to improve your life, even not ours? So with the time a child is able to understand why they need to work hard, and the working hard is not for you. The other things, Zainabu, in the homes is the kind of things we keep in our homes. Drugs that children just easily, that's why children are taking tabs. Where are they getting this medicine? They are found in our homes. These rat poisons and all those. So we need to learn to keep things safely, properly. In the old days, I think some of these things were kept like very far out of the house. Now we have cabinets that don't close, and you just put content. There's medicine from the hospital prescribed. But you see, Zainabu, if you take medicine that is not prescribed and in larger doses, it will kill. Or it will maim you, yes, and all those kind of things. So our home is supposed to be secure in all ways, and that the things in the home should be able to support a child, not to cause a disability, but to avoid a disability. And if it is already there, then homes are the place that we can minimize disabilities. Yes.
Daktari, now I want you to move on to the school environment. What are some of the causes?
Thank you, Zainabu. While we cannot acknowledge that we have finished about the home, but I would like viewers to know that even when we mention the school, there is a lot of interaction, of course, from the school to the home. So in case there is anything we have left this side, it is probably going to come to the school. Now, homes prepare children for school. And there are two types of school in Kenya, Zainabu. There is residential and there is day school. I think those are the two. And then from preschool to primary, to now junior secondary, and to senior secondary, and then of course to college. It goes up to college, Zainabu, is school. It is school. And when children leave home, they now go to another parent, who is the teacher. Now, I want viewers to know that even disabilities are found in schools. I'll start with the classroom teachers, Zainabu. Classroom teachers also, and please viewers, this is with discretion. I am not saying this is what happens to every child and every teacher, but it is good to know that a teacher and a school can cause disabilities. It is well documented. How? The way a teacher receives a child in the morning, Zainabu, we have children who, for example, an orphaned child, maybe a child who was reclaimed from the streets and they have come, maybe a child from the discordant homes we have talked about. Where should they find reprieve, Zainabu? In school. But is that the case? Sometimes we have teachers calling our children names. They even call the child by this name. That one aliokotwa street. Huyo. Ule mtoto hata hajavaa sweta. Ule mtoto sijui wa nini. How can a child learn? Can't they be better in the streets than coming to school to an abusive teacher? Are you seeing? It is a teacher, or even talking about children. We have been having guidance and counseling, Zainabu. Isn't it us teachers who are supposed, when children share with us the stories of their homes, it is a teacher who is supposed to use those stories to comfort a child, not to gossip about those stories in the staff room, not to call the child by that. Wewe baba yako ni mlevi. It is the child who said, my daddy drinks a lot. Are you seeing? Mama yangu is this and this. It is the teacher to take those stories and use them for the benefit of the child. How, Zainabu? Comforting. Is it a teacher comforts a child? You can embrace a child and try to tell them that if you read, you probably can help daddy and mommy and also live a better life than daddy and mommy. But when a teacher doesn't do that, they break the heart of the child, discourage them from studying, Zainabu, cause increasing emotional and behavioral disorders, making children to be sickly, making children to practice truancy, missing school because they are avoiding the teacher, making children to have excuses, making children to be runaways. Teachers make children to be runaways, again run back to the streets. Making children to have communication disorders. How, Zainabu? A child, maybe I ask you, Zainabu, allow me to use you. Why are you late this morning? So you may keep quiet as you try to think about it. What can I say? Do I say mommy and daddy were fighting or what? Or we slept out in the rain or what? So you see the child may start, then you say, you stupid girl, can you say it? Can you say it where you are from? So with the time now, children are having stammer. They stammer. Children with stammer who are shouted at trying to say something, they will wet the bed, Zainabu. They will eat their fingernails, Zainabu. All those, they will scratch their hair. They will pull their hair. Just an indicator that they are being bullied by an adult. And sometimes one of authority, like a teacher. So a teacher can cause disabilities. In the classroom settings, Zainabu, children are able and some are not able. It is a classroom teacher to be able to try and leverage the classroom for the children, those that have and those that don't have. How? For example, if there are textbooks, you could share the textbooks in a very amicable way. Then I have gone to schools, Zainabu, where I have found when a child is endowed intellectually, they do better. The teachers will give this child more textbooks and they will not give the children who are not doing well. Why? The A grades will come from these children and this they don't care. That is increasing disabilities. It is increasing intellectual disabilities, Zainabu, because if a child is endowed to read, it means then this child, if you pair this child with the one that is not doing well, Zainabu, then this child who is endowed can even peer teach this one. They can also share the textbook and learn together. But what do you find in our classrooms? There is row A for A material, row B for average children, row C for, you don't even want to mention the name they are called. Or in the front towards the teacher is row A. In the middle is average students. At the back are the D students you don't want to pay attention. That is not what a teacher should do, Zainabu. That is not what we teach. And I'm not talking from the angle of disability, Zainabu. I am talking from the angle of a teacher trainer. That a teacher is supposed to be impartial. A teacher is not supposed to be partial. A teacher should treat children equally. If there are children who have things more than others, a teacher could balance it very easily instead of waging war. The other thing is name calling, Zainabu. Teachers name call children as tall as a giraffe, as proud as a what as a what, as foolish as a what. How can a child learn, Zainabu? You leave a home, probably it has also issues. You come to school, you're really expecting that the classroom teacher is going to embrace you. What happens? Like for us children in disability, they go to school much older, depending on when we found out that there are disabilities. Like for example, a mother without knowing can keep her child up to age 12. That means, Zainabu, our student with disabilities will be age 12 in class 1. So what does the teacher do when they find a 12-year-old who is supposed to be in class 7, in class 1? Calling them names, big head, I don't know what. And most times it's not that they are really directing it to the child. They actually don't want the child in class. They are trying to discourage the child so that they don't, because sometimes they feel like children with disabilities are not a good image for them. The other one, Zainabu, is teachers who say, head teachers especially, who say they have no vacancies for our children with disabilities. When a mother from the neighborhood comes to bring their child to school, the head teacher will quickly say, we don't have a vacancy. Now, where should children with disabilities, Zainabu, go to school? Why do you think many children with disabilities are in residential school? And yet, you find a 3-year-old, Zainabu, 3 years or 4 a preschooler in a boarding school. Why? The local school will not accept a child with disabilities. That is causing, again, emotional and behavioral disabilities. Because it means that children with disabilities cannot reside in their homes to be able to go to the walk-in school morning and evening and receive their parents' love. They are already discriminated by having disabilities. And now they are being discriminated by a system, an educational system that should merge the two, and it's telling them they don't have a vacancy. And when they go to school, in case they get the vacancies, what does the head teacher ask the parents? Pay a little more, because we need to do extra things for your child. We need a desk for your child. We need this. So they make the parents to pay more. Is it allowed? Does the law allow that? It does not. You see, again, when the children go to the toilets, children with disabilities, especially physical and visually challenged, are the toilets prepared for the children, Zainabu? No. The toilet is a pit latrine. Can a child on crutches, on a wheelchair, use a pit latrine? Can they squat?
So this can aggravate even the disability more.
Yes, and also discourage the children from studying so that they go away. Because you see, if a child goes to the toilet, looks at it, I can't use that toilet, and they go. And yet they can be able to use a bucket, just an ordinary bucket. If you put it upside down, Zainabu, make a hole, it can make an adapted toilet. But the schools will say it's not possible. It's not possible, Zainabu.
For not wanting to do it.
Yes, there is no goodwill to have our children in the school.
So, Daktari, like I always tell you, you are a wealth of knowledge, and I know we've not gone through the community bit, but we'll definitely have you back on the show again so that we can discuss this more. I know it's not a topic that we can finish in one sitting, but thank you so much for making